Are you looking to buy a new sewing machine, but you're wondering, hey, is it as good as they say it is? Watch today's video and I review the Brother HC 1850. I don't know if you're like me, but typically I have a sewing machine for a very long time. I have my equipment for a very long time because it becomes your friend. Well, my sewing machine died and I was fortunate. I had been blessed with an Amazon gift card and I started researching to find a sewing machine to replace the one that I had been using for years. So several months ago, I purchased the Brother HC 1850 machine. I had a budget of $200 or less, and I had some parameters. I wanted to be able to have a really good buttonhole feature. I wanted to be able to have a needle up and down feature. I wanted to have a bobbin that I could see. So I had some things that I really liked on a sewing machine. This is the one I settled on, so I've been using it for several months. Now I'm going to tell you, is it holding up to what I was hoping for? Okay, so here we go. This video isn't going to be so much a how to use this machine because that is one of the things that Brother did really good job on. They have a DVD included with the machine that is very slow and precise and clear and good camera angles on how to use the buttonhole and how to do different applications. This is I bought the machine video 6 months ago, and now I'm going to tell you if I like some of the features. So I'm going to start with some of the things that I really liked. One of it was the price. It was under $200. One of my parameters was a machine that I could lower the feed dogs on. And this one does do that. If you want to do free motion quilting, you need to lower your feed dog. Where you lower the feed dog, I have to say, is kind of odd. It is on the back of the machine, and it is actually just a lever that it's there the feed dogs are down, there the feed dogs are up. It works fantastic. I've tested out the free motion, but that is a great feature to have on a sewing machine, just kind of an odd placement for the lever. So while we're on the back of the machine, I wanted to show you, this is where you plug in and out your foot controller. Super handy feature on this machine that a lot of it, you can just hit a button and it just does it for you. So you, for example, on a buttonhole, you unplug this and you press the go button and it does it. You can do this on winding your bobbin. So really a great feature. Again, kind of an odd placement. When the machine is facing you, you have to stand up and kind of cumbersome to find that hole. The one thing that I absolutely love about this machine is the no oil feature. It says all through the instructions, do not oil your machine. It is precisely set by the factory, but you do still need to clean your machine, and this is fantastic. Here's a little slide button over here that you pop off this plastic guard, and voila, you can see your bobbin casing and you can pop all of these components come out. Here's the screws for your needle plate. Your bobbin casing comes out. And you can just use the little brush that they send you to get the fuzzies out from below the machine. And so to put it back together, just as easy. You just put this into place and it is already there. Most machines have this thread cutter, a thread cutter in this spot. I don't know what it is about this one. It is super great on the placement. You don't have to fiddle or fuss around to find it. It cuts your threads really quick. These are the buttons that I was referring to earlier. So if I had the foot controller unplugged, you can use this button to tell it to do its operation. But if you have it plugged in, super cool, it gives you an error message. Here is the needle up and needle down button. Super good placement. This I love. This is super slow. medium and fast sewing. So if you're just zipping along and sewing as normal, you can do that one. If you have more of a tedious project, I've slipped it down to the slow one a couple times so that you just wouldn't have it run away from you. So I love that. Most of the newer machines have the needle threader feature on it. And I have to say, this one only took me 1 or 2 times to figure out the hand placement. So you can just simply put your thread around the little hole, draw it back through, and there your needle is threaded. And that was one time. I didn't have to edit that. I tried that numerous times. That is a really good needle threader. One thing that I love, and not so much at the same time, first of all, I love this sewing table. It slips right onto your machine. It fits great. It has clear measurements on the front. So I typically always have that on there. But while that is on there, your little container that goes on the front is not. You have to remove that to use the sewing arm, which is understandable. But if you have that off, you do not have a place to keep your accessories. So I just use a small little Tupperware bowl to keep my accessories in, because when this is off, you don't have a storage area. Probably one of the best features is their buttonhole maker. You can just quickly change your feet by pushing a lever on the back, and they have the buttonhole foot, and it's just fantastic. So this one I'm setting to have a small button, and so you leave your button in the little container, and you put your foot on with the red marks facing you. So the button is away, you drop down your foot, and now it's locked in. So you're nice and easy there. But the one thing I want to reinforce is this is a computer. It only can do what you tell it to do. So you have to remember to do all of your settings. So over here are the stitches. So we can see that a buttonhole is number 35. You set your stitch to 35. So now we're going to do a buttonhole. Okay, this is just a scrap fabric, but this is where I want the front of the buttonhole. So you line up where you want the front with your red line. So then at this point, you pull down this button lever, and you can feel it engage. There's a little click there. It needs to be in between these white markers. There's 2 white knobs, I guess I would call them there. This marker goes in between it. What it's doing is when the machine starts, it hits this back one. That's telling it, okay, I'm at the end of the button. And then it comes forward and it hits this white knob and says, oh, I'm at the front of the button. And it goes back and forth. So just make sure that this lever is clicked down and in between those knobs. Then the last thing, super important, you have to hold on to your top thread when you tell it to go. So I'm going to unplug the presser foot from the back. So before you hit start, just double check that your lever is in between those knobs. You're holding onto the thread. You have it set for the buttonhole on the screen, and you just hit your go button. Oh, and see, I just used the thread cutter. I tell you, it just must be in a great spot. So slick as can be. These, I just really, really like their buttonhole feature. But again, you have to make sure you have the settings correct, because the computer is only going to do what you tell it to do. One thing I did want to say is on when you're winding the bobbin, they have their nice little diagram of where to put the thread, which is pretty typical. They do not show putting it through the top of the bobbin. They have little slits for the thread, which might work just fine. I unfortunately have done it this way for so many years. I could not consistently get a bobbin to work using their slits. So I just stick with holding the thread through the top. I always use the presser foot because it does have a tendency to all of a sudden pop down and the thread will be winding below this casing. And by using the presser foot, you can stop if you have an issue. Well, I hope this review was helpful to you. I know personally I stress when it comes to having to buy a machine because they are like your little baby. I get used to some features. So anything that I said negative on the machine probably isn't so much that it doesn't work right. It's just that I'm not used to that feature. And I haven't even touched half of the stuff that's on here. I haven't used the embroidery features on it either. So there's a lot for me to learn. So if you have some tricks that I didn't cover, please comment down below. I would love to learn from you. I did order this off of Amazon, and so the link is down below for that. I would have to agree with the reviews that I read on different blogs. This is a very, very solid machine for this price range. Like I said, I had to be under around the $200 range. It is a super solid machine, and I would buy it again and again. So as always, thank you for watching DIY on the House.